Hey harlots! If you are not a fan of long intros, you can skip to this timestamp. This intro will be kind of long, only because this video is a bit more personal than other videos that I've made in the past. I discovered Tamisha's YouTube channel when I was in middle school. If you know me in middle school and for most of high school, then you know that I only wore maxi skirts. And Tamisha used to make YouTube videos on how to make your own DIY maxi skirts and how to sew other types of clothing. And I've always been that type of kid that would like cut up their clothes and like try to make different designs with their clothes. So when I discovered Tamisha's YouTube channel, I was like, this is perfect for me, because literally all I wore were maxi skirts and she would make YouTube tutorials on how to make your own maxi skirts. So when I discovered her YouTube channel, I remember begging my mother to buy me my very first sewing machine so that I could make skirts like Tamisha did. So even though this is technically my second sewing machine, the reason why I started sewing was definitely because of Tamisha, or a huge reason why I started sewing is because of Tamisha. Also, I forgot to mention, but the reason why I'm wearing this shirt right now is because Tamisha inspired me to make this shirt when I was like 15 years old. So honestly, I don't think I would have ever started sewing if I hadn't ran into her YouTube channel. So she does play a big role in my life and in my hobbies and things like that. So I knew I was gonna one day make this video, and I'm glad that I'm finally making it. So years go by, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder if Tamisha still makes YouTube videos, because like YouTube hadn't been recommending her YouTube channel to me in a really long time, and I was kind of questioning why she hadn't been uploading videos in a while. So I went to her YouTube channel, and I remember like looking at the comments, and every comment said RIP, 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 and I couldn't understand why. I'm like, who died? So after doing Googling her name or whatever, I discovered that she had unfortunately passed away, and it wasn't a natural death. Unfortunately, her life was taken from her by an ex-partner, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video.
Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make this maxi skirt with a lining in it. Hi you guys. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute dress. You guys have been requesting this dress a lot. Hi everyone. Okay, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Okay, so I have one of you guys requested for this sewing tutorial, so I'm going to make this dress for you.
At 31 years old, Tamisha Ridge posted YouTube videos under the name Misha Boo. She had nearly 200,000 followers at the time of her death. Tamisha also went by the name Tamisha Ridge-Glashen and Misha Boo, or Misha Ridge Boo. On May 14, 2014, Tamisha got ready for bed and crawled into bed as her 3 children were already asleep. Her cousin Valencia Thomas was sleeping on the couch. Later that night, a man came into their home through an unlocked door and Tamisha on the head. According to ABC 10, the Sacramento DA said the alleged suspect, Demisha Green and Tamisha Ridge, were in an on and off again relationship for 10 years. Then, after a 5-year break with no contact, the DA said Green and Ridge got back together for a few months before Ridge broke up with Green again. I question how true this information is, mainly because Tamisha did try to get away from Green. The only problem is he was the father of her children, and he tried to stay in her life for as long as he can. At the time of her death, she was married to a whole nother man, so I don't think that she was still messing with her ex-boyfriend. It's possible that she could have been cheating on her husband with her ex-boyfriend, but I honestly don't think that was the case. I mean, she had a restraining order against him. I think just the fact that she, 1, was moving on, remarried, and moved to a whole nother state, and then 2, had a successful YouTube channel, 3, had a successful business. I think that's ultimately what led to him taking her life. Not the fact that she broke up with him for the second time, but that's just my opinion and also the family's opinion. So we'll get into that. Tamisha and her husband were actually separated at the time of her death. Hey guys, so I forgot to mention that Tamisha and her husband were actually separated and living in different states. Tamisha had moved to Sacramento to get away from Demisha and his abuse, but her and her husband Herzels, they were still in communication and they were still co-parenting since they had a daughter together. Tamisha did not file for divorce and neither did her husband. Neither of them wanted to get a divorce, so they were still together. They just were separated and living in different states. So I wanted to add that I still believe in everything that I said. I still agree with everything that I said. I still don't think that she wanted to be with Demisha. ABC 10 also states that it was after this breakup that the DA said Green entered Rich's home on May 14, 2014, walked straight into her room and shot her in the head with a... Investigations thankfully didn't take too long as Green turned himself in for a parole violation before he was booked in Sacramento County Jail for homicide. He had a previous conviction of assault with a deadly weapon, according to the DA. Green is currently serving a 75-year to life sentence at Pelican Bay State Prison, where he will be eligible for parole in 2039. He would be 60 years old at his scheduled parole hearing. I also want to state that even though Demisha turned himself in only 5 hours after the murder, he wasn't convicted until 2018, which means it took 4 years for Tamisha's friends and family to get any type of justice. Her family believes that 38-year-old Demisha Green murdered 31-year-old Tamisha because he was obsessed with her. Her family also believes that her life was taken because she refused to get back with him. So, as I said earlier, ABC 10 claims that Demisha killed Tamisha because she broke up with him for the second time, but I honestly don't even think she took him back the second time. But that's just what I think, honestly. You have to do your own research with this. It's kind of a messy... I feel like every case has like some sort of false information involved in it, so it's really hard to get the full truth, but I'm trying. She had been getting all kinds of threatening phone calls and text messages for quite some time now, said her cousin Ty Martin. She said, "Mom, he's hitting me," and she was trying to be quiet about it, said Tina Martin, Tamisha's mother. Miss Martin says she tried over and over again to intervene and made sure Tamisha moved from LA to Sacramento to escape Demisha Green. If you're interested in knowing more about Demisha's past cases with DV, I do have an article from tjskoc.com. But I do have to give a trigger warning before I can remove the censor. The article is very disturbing and pretty graphic with details. I'm not the type to be easily disturbed, but when I got to the third paragraph in this picture, I couldn't finish the rest of the article. Normally I'd read it out loud for you guys, but I really don't want to read it again. So if you're interested in finding out, then you can pause to read it. If you're not interested, I'm only going to have the pictures up for like 3 seconds so you can just move along without pausing. Tamisha even filed a restraining order, but it did nothing as far as shielding her from the fate that was coming her way. So like I said earlier, Tamisha moved from one state to another state and she got a restraining order against him just to get away from Demisha. I don't really understand why a lot of news coverage and a lot of TV show coverages, because this did get onto TV, it just doesn't make sense why a lot of these are saying that they got back together and then they broke up, when clearly she was married to a whole nother man, had a restraining order against him, moved to... Like, how could you think that she wanted to be... And I've also seen videos on YouTube where some guy was blaming Tamisha for dating a thug. What the hell? Like, she wanted nothing to do with him. In my opinion, I think she wanted nothing to do with him. She had completely moved on, married a new man, moved to a different state, got a restraining order, and yet people are still blaming her for her death, saying that she shouldn't have dated somebody like him. Anyway, so once again, Tamisha was fully moved on and married to another man named Herzels Glashen. I hope I said that right. Named Herzels Glashen. Mr. Glashen, who spoke out about the misrepresentation of Tamisha on the hit TV show Web of Lies. Web of Lies is one of my favorite shows on ID Network, so this is honestly very disappointing, but according to Herzels, Web of Lies basically included a lot of misrepresentation in Tamisha's case. According to him, there were a lot of lies in the show. I'm going to try to insert a clip if I can find it of him basically explaining what happened.
Yes, she did separate and went up there. Yes, but to flatter and I didn't know my wife was, gonna be murdered. They made it seem like she gave me divorce paper. The mom, I never received any divorce papers. I only went up there to see my daughter one time. Nothing in divorce. So, truly told, the Web of Lies series is pretty much a whole lie, you guys. Her mom is, sorry to say, I don't want to be wrong, but her mom is just, straight up lying because, yes, my daughter don't go up there because the thing of the whole factor is I have to protect myself. These are not the nicest people. These are people that are overall not going to think right, and the best solution. So you guys have to think about it. Put yourself in my shoes. You're a man. Do you leave your daughter? Your wife already got murdered, and the other guy is going to prison. He's in prison for life, and the other kid's dad, he's in prison for 10, 20 years, and they're going back and forth. I'm going to leave my daughter in that environment? No, that's not a man. A man is going to take their daughter and he's going to raise her. So I've been raising my daughter, and doing as best I can, in a time period. And we're here. So I ask for you guys, give the network an opportunity. We have different YouTube creators. And these are people that are joining our network, the How Easy Network. And they're going to create good content. You guys are going to love it. I was not interested in doing this film. They offered me cash, a couple of $100 as if I was like, this is something that happened to me. This is something that happened to my daughter. This is something that happened to her daughter and her son. This is our lives, and it painted me in a picture because I didn't want to do it with them for $500. I said, no, I'm not interested because you're going to monetize my life and put my life out there. They went out there and went with her mother, which in the situation of her mother, everything that happened with YouTube and brand and us being married, her mother didn't even live, not even 600 miles close to us. We were in Los Angeles, she's in Sacramento. She didn't even see.
I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Herzels is the one that's running Misha's YouTube account right now. He is the husband of Misha before she passed away, and to keep her memory alive, he's the one that's posting on her YouTube channels. He also has his own YouTube channel that used to be Tamisha's called How Easy Network. I don't know if anyone's actually interested in this, but Tamisha does have a pen pal account where he describes himself as sincere and a breath of fresh air. The only part that I found interesting was the part where he says his appeal has been granted and that he will be out soon. I honestly hope that this is not true. According to what he's done to his ex-girlfriends, not just Tamisha but the ones before her, I think this man deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. I also believe that Tamisha would not have been his first victim if the woman that he had tortured did not escape. He had her kidnapped and tortured. Well, I can't say kidnapped, but the woman was tortured by him for 2 days, beaten and bloodied, and the only reason why she escaped is because she ran out of the house and ran into a bystander's arms. Like, I honestly wonder if he would have gone as far as killing her if she hadn't escaped. I also wonder if Tamisha's cousin wasn't in the house and if her children wasn't in the house, would he have also tortured Tamisha before killing her? But I don't even want to think about that. So this is honestly a very, very, very tragic case. Not even because Tamisha is somebody that inspired me a lot, but because she left 3 children behind. She left behind friends that loved her and family that cared about her. So it's just sad all around. It's sad that her life was taken such a horrible way by somebody that I'm sure she once loved. I mean, he was the father of one of her 3 children. My prayers do go out to her family. I don't even know how you can heal from something like this. As usual, thank you guys for watching and for making it this far into the video. like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave it in the below.
Look at my style, movement. This is what here exclusive. I be still when I'm too late. Part of my music. Can't trust these niggas with loose lips. I'm gonna score with buzz. I'm gonna score on board. Got tired of losing. Locking my style, movement. This is what here exclusive. I be still when I'm too late. They just part of my